All right, welcome back, Jeep fans. So I got an update for you. For those of you who have followed me, who have subscribed, who have liked my videos, you know this is 2008. I've got a 2010 also right there. This is a 2008 JK. I bought it with about 110,000 miles. I'm currently at about 150, and I've had a few issues. Let's just say it's been consuming oil. Leaking oil. It wasn't consuming oil. There was no signs that it was burning oil. It wasn't smoking. Nothing was going on odd like that. But I was leaking oil. I had oil all over the bottom of the motor, bottom of the transmission. So I've replaced a lot of seals, and I've chased the oil leaks. They have been successful. I clearly had bad seals. But a week ago, 2 weeks ago, my son called me and he said Jeep was running bad. Okay, so let me tell you, I had an exhaust leak, and I made the decision to purchase that piece of garbage right there, a set of those actually. And I decided that a set of exhaust gaskets, manifold gaskets, were going to cost me $20–30. It made more sense for me to make a steel purchase to buy those on eBay for $80, coming with the gasket. So I said, what the heck, I'll convert to stainless headers. They're garbage, okay? They're so poorly designed, particularly on the driver's side, that no matter how well you protect your spark plug wires, you're going to burn through them. So I've gone through about 6 sets of spark plug wires in 8 months, and I just assumed it had a miss again. Okay, so I came home, I checked. I did in fact have another burnt spark plug wire, but I replaced the spark plug wire. I still had a weird issue. I won't get into the details, but I had a weird issue. Ended up finding a bad spark plug also on the driver's side. So I replaced all the spark plugs and all the cables, all the spark plug wires, and I still had the issue. So, and I apologize for not showing myself or something more exciting. I apologize. But so what I did is I made the decision that I was going to take it up to the dealer. The dealer told me I had 2 codes. I had a P0300, which is a random misfire. It wasn't tied to one cylinder or another. It was a random misfire. And then I had a C121C, which is torque request denied. Okay, if you look up that C121C, it says there's 2 options. One is your ABS module, right there, is bad. One is your PCU, right there, is bad. One of those 2 was supposed to be bad. So before I purchased, I had a sneaking suspicion it was not the ABS module because I had the misfire. So I said, well, it's got to be the PCU. But before I purchased that, I'm going to go talk to the dealership. So I went and talked to a buddy in Pascagoula, and he asked if I had heating issues. Now, I think I've talked about it before. These get extremely hot. And so I said, well, sure I do. But it's not an overheating issue. So that's what's odd about it. I'm not overheating, but the Jeep gets extremely hot. So I asked why. I was intrigued. And he said, well, it's more likely to me that you've got a blown head gasket. So I stripped it down. Pretty simple to do. Crappy light again, I apologize. Let me see if I can get some better lighting. I apologize. I'm trying to do this all with my phone. So it still doesn't help. I pulled the heads up, pulled the intake off, pulled the heads off. There's a good video on here. The guy's 7 or 8 separate videos of tearing it down, basically doing the same thing I'm doing. He tears it down and puts it all back together. So he did a good job. I'm not going to get into that level of detail. I just want to, in case anyone's got the issue that I have, I want to show you what I found. Okay, so I replaced, because of the random misfire, he said, hang on, let me back up. Before I even went and talked to him, I replaced the plugs and the wires, like I said. Then I replaced the ignition coil pack because I had a random misfire, right? So it seemed to me the next logical thing. So I replaced the coil pack. That didn't work. Replaced the crankshaft sensor because it was in stock. The camshaft sensor I had to order. When it came in, I put it in. It didn't work. I replaced the map sensor. It didn't work. I replaced the PCV because I knew that I had issues with oil. Tons and tons and tons of oil coming back up through the intake. So I replaced everything on the electrical side, the sensor side, except the PCU. The only option was a PCU. So he says, go do your head gasket, or I think you got a head gasket, do a compression test. So I go get the compression tester. This is where it gets interesting. I've got between 165 and 175 on cylinders 1, 3, and 5, and 4 and 6. But 2 up here in the front, I've got 60. Okay, so 165 to 175 on all of them except number 2. Coincidentally, the other guy that I'm referring to, and maybe I'll go ahead and link to his videos, okay, so you can follow him, but he had the same problem that I had, where he had seized rings on number 2, okay? So that's where I'm at today. So I want to show you what I found. I've got this already soaking. Oh, here it is. I've got this already soaking in lacquer thinner, but if you can see, I've already pulled out the oil ring down here on the bottom, but those suckers are stuck in there. Let's see if I can find the gap. There they are, right there. See if it'll focus. There's a gap right there in the center, and there's that gap. They are stuck. So I've got this soaking. That was my lack of compression. I was a little worried when I pulled it apart because I didn't have a blown head gasket. No signs, no obvious signs of a bad head gasket. Now I will show you that I don't think it's normal to have all this rust leaking. This is, well, I don't think that finish really matters, but look at all the rust in here. Listen, I apologize. I'm an engineer, so you know that's bad to me, but I'm not willing to say that I have a bad head gasket. Both of them are like this. Both of them have a lot of worn spots, which could have just come off on the head when I pulled the head off, or could have been stuck on the block. I'm not sure, but both of them have these signs of rust in here. So I don't know. Maybe it's normal. Maybe it's not. But I don't think that it should be able to get this. This is two pieces of metal sandwiched together. And you can easily separate this and get behind all of this. So water was running down the head gasket instead of running through your channels, through your jacket like it's supposed to. So I'm not willing to say that I had blown head gaskets. I don't no evidence of that. What I will say is, at 150,000 miles, like everything else on this dang thing, it's wore out. Okay. And I've got various other rings on other pistons, a whole ton of carbon buildup and residue. But I've got various, you know, some of them, here's one right here. This is number 6. No, that's unseized. One of them already broke loose. There it is, number 4. The middle ring is seized. The top ring is loose, but the middle ring is seized in there. You can see right there. You know, it's not sticking out on either side. The top is, but the middle ring there is not. So there's definitely ring issues, and this is not that bad of a job, folks. It's really not. My bearings look good. I'm not worried about the bearings. Obviously, I'm going to put them back on there with standard size. I'm not gonna oversize them because there's no sign of wear. If you look at them, they look really good. They're not sandwiched. Yeah, that's a little sign of wear, but I mean, very minor. It's just complete non-issue. I'm not hesitant at all to go ahead and put standard size back in here. So I wouldn't hesitate to do this. Watch the other guy's video. He's got a great video, step by step, taking it apart and putting it back together. And you can do this. 150,000 miles. I think this thing's going to run like a champ when I get it back together. And I will post an update. I might have another video or two before then, depending on how this goes, cleaning and stuff. But if nothing else, I'll wait till I'm done and got it back together, and we'll do an update on how well it's running. Thanks for watching.